Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Thursday as you are listening to the show today. It's LFCC Thursday, and while we have pre-recorded today's show for you, it wasn't over Zoom. Today, I'm sharing a recent podcast conversation that's part of LFCC Stories. It's a podcast series I'm producing in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. If you want to hear more of these inspiring and informative conversations, head over to theriver953.com/LFCC Stories. You can find the entire series there. We release a new episode every Thursday. We are having a conversation today with Mady Rodriguez. And Mady, typically when I do these interviews, I start off with the name and when they graduated at Lord Fairfax, but I don't really want to jump in that far yet because just in the 2 minutes that I've been chatting with you, I am exhausted. I don't even want to say, tell me about yourself. So let me say, talk to me about how you ended up here at Lord Fairfax.
Okay. So basically I started a job at the Migrant Head Start, and this was back in 1997. We had a Migrant Head Start in Winchester, and they offered me a position to work for them, but they required a bachelor's degree of the position. So she gave me the job, but said, you need to go to college. And so that's how I kind of ended up at Lord Fairfax. It was taking a class here, a class there, and it took me a while to get it, 12 years, but I finally got my associate's degree from here, from Lord Fairfax.
A lot of your education path has been kind of stop and start and here and then there. Yes. Tell me about that.
So my parents moved to West Virginia when I was in 5th grade. So I did school there, and then the year after we came to Winchester. So I went to Daniel Morgan, finished Daniel Morgan Middle School, and then went to Hanley. And halfway through, my family decided that there was some issue of family death, and we had to move to Puerto Rico. So ended up moving to Puerto Rico, graduated from high school over there, and then that summer came back to Winchester.
So this is your home now.
This is, absolutely. Yes, it is.
You do a lot of volunteer work, but you have a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
So give me some background on that.
I think that throughout the years, I've just really found my passion and just love serving and love helping people. And so the jobs that I have, I really don't see them as jobs. Like, I truly see them as just an opportunity to use my skills to help others. I'm bilingual, so I speak English and Spanish. And because I have those skills, I've been able to have some pretty cool and neat jobs and be able to make an impact in the community. Let's see here. We'll start with site coordinator position. I started as a teacher for it's Northern Shenandoah Valley Adult Education, and we're here at Lord Fairfax. We're in the lodge. We've been with Lord Fairfax since I think 2011, but before that we were with Frederick County Public Schools. And so we've been in the community for a really, really long time, providing English classes to adults, free English classes. And so that's kind of one of my main jobs that I do. But I also, like I said, in 98, I was able to start that position and start working with children from birth to 3 that have developmental delays or handicapping conditions. And so I'm a service coordinator or case manager. I go into homes and help families make sure they have the services that they need so that their children are successful. So like PT, OT, speech, things like that in their homes. And then probably like 15 years ago, I was able to use my bilingual skills and be an interpreter for the hospital. And so that's through Valley Health. I've been an interpreter for about 15 years. The last 2 of those years, I transitioned into a social worker, medical social worker, because I got my master's degree. So
you sleep, right? I mean, you do sleep at some point.
I really do. I go to sleep at 9 p.m. Like, I get 8 hours or more of sleep every day.
Have you been this driven your entire life? Is this something that kind of came to you later in life, or were you like that third grader that was walking around and organizing everybody and getting all of the things together in class?
I think for me, it really was when we moved back from Puerto Rico. I was 18, started to volunteer with the ESL program, and started to see that the population was growing, the Latino population was growing, and that I had an ability to help and an ability to impact with my bilingual skills. And then from there, it's just kind of snowballed. Honestly, I enjoy everything that I do. I'm able to make an impact in so many different areas, whether it's infants or it's teens or it's adults. Like I'm all over the place on the spectrum, but I enjoy every bit of it.
Tell me about the backpack program.
2 years ago, a friend and I decided to get a couple of backpacks and do a giveaway to local. There's a lot of programs in the community that do it, but for maybe just not trusting or not feeling comfortable, we feel that maybe the Latino community isn't coming out or reaching out. So we thought, let's do it at a safe place. It'll be you and I, people know us. And so we had donations from friends and different groups that gave us supplies and things. And we had 125 book bags, and we had like over 200 people show up. And it was heartbreaking because we were like, oh my gosh, we can't give book bags to everybody. So the following year, which was this past year, we were able to collect 225 book bags, and a little bit more organized this time, scheduled people to come because of COVID and everything. We had to schedule.
It is a silver lining, is that you have to have numbers now.
Exactly.
Not that we're talking math again,
I know.
But it does make it a little bit easier.
It really does. So it was great. We gave out 225 book bags, and it's truly just an effort that my friend and I came up with, and we pulled our friends along, and everyone's just like, here, have this, or we'll take more book bags, or I'll donate pencils and this and that, and it's just become a group effort and just really great for our community.
Was college ever on your radar? I mean, you said at the beginning that you only basically got the degree because you got the job first and had to get the degree. Did you ever consider or think you were going to go to college?
I did. Before we left Puerto Rico, I was actually going to start college in Puerto Rico, and then my family decided we were going to move back here. So I had planned on going to college, but then I came here, started to work, and then it was just kind of like, just kind of put it on the back burner until this position came up a year later, and then I had to kind of start going to college.
And talk to me about that college experience, because it didn't happen in a year or two either.
One of the perks of going to Hanley was that I had a very high level education, I would say, when I got to Puerto Rico. The standards of education were a little lower, so I was kind of ahead of the game, which was nice. But it kind of affected me because I didn't have to take any math in Puerto Rico. And so math was really my holdup. So I think my 12 years were really, that took me to get my degree here was really the math hang up. Like it just went in one ear and out the other.
I feel ya.
The year before I graduated, which is 2011, I was able to have a professor kind of write off and say, you know what, just go ahead, register for the class, I'll sign off on you. And I actually understood math, and that was with Professor Evan Humbert. And so I actually understood it, got an A in the class, and was able to kind of move on to the next class and graduate.
So what is your education degrees in now?
In 2013, I got my bachelor's through Old Dominion, and I did it online through here as well. And then 2015, I graduated with my master's from Walden University in Human Services.
So you really don't stop.
I don't. Well, it took me so long to get my associate's degree, but once I got it, I was like, I need to keep the momentum up. Like I need to finish this now. So I didn't stop.
And you're dealing with people on a regular basis that education may not necessarily be their highest priority in the moment that you're dealing with them. How do you help them through and let them see that there are other options after we get through this?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I do have a lot of opportunities to work with people, and like you said, education might not be their priority at the moment, but I feel like even them knowing what I'm capable of or what I was able to do, that's still an inspiration for them. I've got a lot of young kids that reach out and they're like, wow, you inspired me to keep going to school, or you inspired me to take this training, or to be an interpreter, or to register at Lord Fairfax. So I don't see it directly or immediately, but I feel like I am making an impact on other people.
We're going to take a quick break and come back to finish this conversation with Mady Rodriguez from Lord Fairfax Community College.
Do you know anyone who is struggling with financial hardships because of coronavirus? Our new webinar called Coping with the Money Crunch can help. We'll talk about immediate options to consider, revising or creating a spending plan, and lots of community resources. Then we'll cover how to narrow your priorities, contact creditors, and avoid scams and risky loans. The webinar is free, and you can either join by phone or through Zoom on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. You can find out more by visiting the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program on Facebook or calling Karen Poff at 540-635-4549. Let me show you how to make your own plan or help someone you care about get through the crisis. Call 635-4549 or visit at NSV Financial Education on Facebook today.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Thursday as you are listening to the show today. It's LFCC Thursday, and while we have pre-recorded today's show for you, it wasn't over Zoom. It was actually in person. Today, I am sharing a recent podcast conversation that's part of LFCC Stories. It's a podcast series that I'm producing in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. If you want to hear more of these inspiring and informative conversations, head over to theriver953.com/LFCC Stories. You can find the entire series there. We release a new episode every Thursday. This conversation is with Mady Rodriguez. She is a 2011 graduate of LFCC, and here is the rest of our conversation. I can't imagine coming back and going through all these classes and struggling with math. Were there days when you just said, you know what, I'm done with this. This isn't worth the energy.
Yeah.
You don't impress me as somebody who gives up, but I wonder if that didn't cross your mind at some point.
Yeah. So I think in those 12 years, there probably were many give-ups. It's maybe take one class here, one class there. And so, yeah, math was really, really frustrating for me. The hang-up of, having to take a developmental math was really frustrating and hard. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that there was a tutor in the tutor center that said, hey, give him a call. Ask him if he'll let you just take your, get in your class. And I'm like, are you sure? Can you do that? But I gave him a call and it worked. So many things along the way, many times that, yes, I really just was like, screw it. I don't want to do this anymore.
I've been talking to alumni, to current students, to professors about lessons that they've learned along the way, and you probably have a lot of lessons.
Yeah, I think you just have to have self-determination. No one's going to do this for you. Yes, there will be people along the way that'll push you along the way, that'll support you, and there'll be some people that won't support you along the way. But I think you just have to have that self-determination. I did a lot of my classes online. That's not easy. Online with children, a home, and a full-time job. It's not easy.
Three full-time jobs.
It's not easy, but I think that, if you have that self-determination, you will get to where you need to go.
So what drives you? There's a little star next to your name on my spreadsheet, and it says big time volunteer.
Yeah, so I'm the president of the Winchester Education Foundation. I'm a board member of the Just Me movement, board member of the Arte Libre art group in Winchester. I know there's something else that I'm missing, Family Day. There's so many things that I do.
Are you an only child?
No, I'm not. I'm a middle child.
Because so that kind of explains it some too. Because usually your overachievers are your only children, but it's sometimes the middle child too.
No, and I think my motivation is my parents. My parents came here when they were in their teens, 14 or 15. My dad from Mexico, my mom from Puerto Rico. They came here. They learned the language. They worked hard, really, to make sure that we were better than them. And I think that's my motivation. As a mom now, my goal is to be an inspiration for my kids, but also I expect my kids to be better than me, so I'm setting that bar pretty high for them.
So I've been asking all the professors here. It's the toughest question that I have, apparently, which how easily you answer it will be the judge of that. LFCC is in its 50th year. This is the 50th anniversary year. So if somebody from LFCC came to you and said, you know what, Mady, we're putting together a time capsule, and we want you to tell us from your time at Lord Fairfax, pluck out a memory, pluck out a good time, pluck out an accomplishment, something that you think really stands above and beyond to put in this time capsule. So in another 50 years, people can open it and see. What would you choose to put in that time capsule?
I think I would put in there the day that I graduated from LFCC, because I never imagined that I would be a professor here now. I never imagined that I was going to come here to this college, that I was going to graduate from this college, and then here full circle, I'm a professor here now.
Graduation day. What was that like for you? Because that had to have been a huge accomplishment in your life.
It was a huge accomplishment. I did not go to graduation, though.
What?
So, yeah, I did not go to graduation. I can't remember what happened in my family, but I was unable to go to graduation. I remember being heartbroken about it. So for me, it was receiving that diploma in the mail when I got that. That was really my moment. But, yeah, I never made it to graduation.
Oh, my goodness.
But I made it a point when I got my bachelor's and my master's. I'm like, oh, I will not miss this graduation. So, yeah.
Do you come back to other LFCC graduations just because you have students that you have taught that are going to be participating in it?
Yes, I have come to a couple of them. It's neat to see. So for me, it's really obviously every student is important, but for me is the Latino students. Like for me, it's just so touching to me, because just seeing their families, just how happy they are. And I think it's because they probably have that same mentality that I do, that my kid's going to be more than me. You know, my kid's moving mountains for them. You know, we might see it as just an associate's degree, but I think for many of these families, this is a very, very huge accomplishment, just as huge as getting a master's degree or a PhD. Like it's huge. And so seeing their families and seeing that accomplishment, I think that's probably my biggest joy.
So what advice do you have for those families who want that for their children, but are concerned that they can't make it happen, or maybe they can't afford it, or it's not the right fit? What do you say to them to get them over that hump so they push their children in the right direction?
So I'll tell you right now, I'm working with a program, and that's another board that I'm on, is Opportunity Scholars. And so we're working on supporting children and their parents to help them understand the process and help them know kind of what to expect and kind of break some of those barriers. And so my advice would be to really seek out support. Don't accept no. Don't settle. If you're not getting the answers that you need, or if you're not understanding, don't stop there. Like, keep reaching out. You know, you might have just asked the question the wrong way, or you might have just reached someone when they were busy and they didn't really listen to your question completely. So just to not stop, to just keep, pushing and looking for answers and trying to understand the process so you can help your children be successful.
And then what do you say to the children who have parents who maybe are just not interested or not in favor of them moving forward? What do you say to them to motivate them to make that step on their own?
Well, I think once again, it's you create for yourself what you want for your future. And so you have to really kind of depend on yourself to push yourself. I will tell you, I have great parents, very supportive parents, but when it came to college, they were not the ones in here signing me up or doing anything like that. This was because I wanted, obviously my boss at the time, but even in Puerto Rico, I was the one that initiated what college I wanted to go to. It was not a joint agreement or a sit down that this is what I'm going to do. So I think that once you're motivated, you just need to run with it. You have to remember that this is for you. If you have a motivator, that's great, but at the end of the day, you should be your own motivator.
So where do you think you're going to be in another 20 years?
So I was just telling my kids today that I want them to call me Dr. Mady. So I think I'm going to pursue my PhD, and we'll go from there, but I don't know.
What did they say? Did they roll their eyes and say, "Oh, no, I'm not"?
Yeah, they did.
How old are your kids?
12 and 14.
Oh, yeah, they weren't having any parts of that.
No.
Yeah. And what will you specialize in?
My master's is in human services, and I'll probably continue that piece of it just because human services kind of falls into the whole social work and social services type thing. So I want to be able to still work with people and be able to impact their lives. And I really just want that PhD after my name.
Thank you for taking some time to come and hang out with me today. This has been fun.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today's episode of The Valley Today. You've been listening to a conversation as part of LFCC Stories, a podcast series that I'm producing in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. If you want to hear more LFCC stories, head over to theriver953.com/LFCC stories, or you can find it under the podcast tab at theriver953.com. We release a new episode every Thursday featuring a conversation with current and past students, professors, and administrators from Lord Fairfax Community College. Tomorrow, we're going to small business shop our way across Shenandoah County. Find out what the small towns in Shenandoah County are offering to encourage you to shop small. Meet me back here a few minutes after noon, and I'll have that episode ready to go for you.